Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Firepower Podcast. This is a show where friends chat about Firepower, a comic book series by Robert Kirkman, Chris Samnee, Matt Wilson, and Russ Wooten. Today I'm joined by my friend and my fellow co host.
Charlie.
What are you up to today, Charlie?
Oh, not much. Just got back from work and wanted to read through this issue really quick. Yeah, I was really excited to talk about this one. Not like stupid long, but just some fun moments as always. Some great art, and yeah, can't go wrong talking about Firepower. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm excited. It feels good to be recording Firepower again. Our goal is to hopefully be caught up by July when the new issue releases, Firepower number 25. I think we can do it, to be honest, all things considered, because we do a lot of shows here. And we have a surprise if you're a massive Verse fan and listener, for our other shows, Rating Black Podcast. But that's for another time. Today, Firepower 14, we got, the same creative team we mentioned earlier, Robert Kirkman, creator and writer, Chris Samnee, creator and artist, Matt Wilson, colorist, Russ Wooten, letterer. And we've got the little blurb here previously. With Chow Feng imprisoned, Owen and his family have returned home, but everything is not back to normal. Haley's seeing snakes, Doug is getting into trouble at school, and Kelly is taking down gun wielding criminals robbing the local donut shop. Their past doesn't seem to want to let go, and when Haley discovers she also has the firepower, things are about to get even more complicated for the Johnson family. Boom. All right.
Yeah, big stuff. Kind of a dark start here, actually. Like it just like lots of shadows and stuff to start, but kind of like I remember talking about this last issue, but yeah, just seeing all these snakes and stuff on this cover was very concerning for sure. But yeah, the colors and stuff are so well done on this cover. It's just yeah, it's gorgeous going in.
This cover was my display pick for a long time because I loved it so much. I really think
Oh,
it's
that'd
one
be a
of the
good one.
best
That would be a
ones.
good one.
Yeah, just Owen caught in the perfect moment really encapsulates the first half of the series with all the deception and all the turns. And yeah, here we're at the Johnson family home, and this issue I feel like is very much we're back at the with the family home. We're trying to fix some of the tension from all the disaster that's taken place in the last few issues. I don't think they've had a chance to fully recover. And here we're kind of seeing the fallout of that. Like Doug is beat up some kids at school, but it's not in a case of antagonism because they were bullies. And the boba, Owen's like, they were three guys. He took them down 3-1, and he's like smiling, and that's when Kelly's like, "Oh my god, like that's not good." But I can't believe it. Three guys. That's impressive. Good for Doug. That's just
Yeah,
so funny.
fuck yeah, not bad. But buddy's training's paying off for sure. He's been training hard all night long, and yeah, it's been paying off. But yeah, now we see Haley, kind of getting into that practice mode too. In this next page, she's kind of like yeah, ever since she used that firepower for the first time, like she's so just like she just wants to do it again, and she's trying to kind of force it too much. And yeah, this conversation really with Owen and Haley, just like talking about like the emotions and how they got to be under control when you're trying to use this power was yeah, that's when this book's at its best, really.
For sure. I want to highlight the use of shadows to convey emotion in a lot of these pages. It's truly incredible. I mean, for such a tense family moment, they're recovering from this like unspoken trauma in a lot of ways, which they're trying to address. And yeah, Haley, prodigal stuff almost. She's trying to recapture the firepower, get it to rechannel it, but Johnson's there. Sorry, Owen's there trying to tell her that it's okay. It's hard to channel when you're frustrated. You're gonna have to learn to do it again. It took the second time was even difficult for him, and it took time to harness it. But now he can do it, whenever he wants to. And I love her face when she just calls him a show off, like very standoffish, like. But someone's watching them this entire issue, and that's something we'll get around to towards the end of the issue because we'll find out who that someone is. But of course, we're not gonna. We are reviewing these issues as they come, but because we are obviously caught up with the most current issue, we're going to try to be spoiler free and keep it with the spoilers of the issue we're reviewing each episode. So in this case, Firepower number 14. Next page, though, I know this is one of your favorite pages. I know it's one of my favorite pages. We've talked about this before, and we've got Waylon wearing the beats, just listening to the tunes, with the a rapid basketball approaching his face, and he just catches it with his quick reflexes. Of course, that's where he begins to spin the ball on his finger, and he says, "This is my ball now. If you want it back, you must earn it. All of you against me." And that's where he just dribbles through everybody, the entire court, all the students, and he just dunks on them, no problem. And I gotta say, this is, I think, in all the firepower, the everything, all 24 issues that we've read so far, this is one of my favorite sequences.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'd probably have to agree with that. And honestly, what was most impressive is like reading back, like the back matter and just hearing like Chris Somnee's kind of lack of like basketball knowledge, but it's still like it's a very smooth sequence, and yeah, you can really tell kind of where he's going because it's not typical basketball, right? It's this kung fu basketball, so he's probably like 5'5". He's got like a 50-inch vertical. He's just jumping up there, having that slam dunk. So yeah, that was an awesome moment. Kind of, he's got that Jordan pose silhouette in the air there on that one page. So yeah, that was just freaking gorgeous, and showing off the sixes again. So yeah, gotta love whenever they
Of
put
course.
basketball on this stuff.
For sure. And we've mentioned it before with the firepower number 12 variants. There's definitely a lot of love for shoes in this series, and it's really appreciated, of course, from the culture and from everything. I love the image as well, just the short image of Waylon hopping away rapidly towards the end. To stay here, this
Yeah,
does not concern you. I don't know why. There's just something so hilarious about it. Like, he's so agile despite being, such an uh, old man.
yeah, for sure. And this transition's like really cool too. I think they talked about this later too, but like the sound effects of the doom, 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 like kind of like they're playing basketball and they're hearing this big bang. And I remember at first, like he's not really dribbling, but I just took this as like, I don't know, him going down or like him even dribbling the basketball or something. But just the way it transitions till you see what's actually going on, it was just, yeah, very, very well done here. We see Mr. Shenzul again. Yeah, not looking too pretty over here.
Yeah. I, Russ Wooten's truly incredibly talented, and it's
Chu
great to
Fang,
see
sorry.
him. Yeah, it's great to see him continue to work with Kirkman and Skybound in general to do all these titles. Like, he's definitely one of my favorite working letterers. But yeah, Cho Fang in the next page with the more big dooms, big letters there, sound effects. I love that you get the angle where you see Waylon's shocked face as he sees that Cho Fang's hands and his fists are literally bleeding from the attempts at punching at the bars, and that's where they both notice, Ma Guang and Wei Lun, that Cho Fang's been bitten by a snake, and his. I mean, I thought the green eyes would have given it away, but I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they can see in the dark there, but yeah, the Cho Fang is currently under the influence of the Serpent's Omen.
Yeah, this is an awesome moment, and yeah, just the look of Chu Fang here with yeah the green eyes and stuff looks just super badass. But yeah, that was kind of a funny moment, even yeah, just pointing out like oh there's a snake on him, and then like Wei Lun's just like oh I see it like yeah it's there, and that's kind of when it clicks. But yeah, I still don't think we know fully the extent of Wei Lun's knowledge of the snakes and stuff at this point. But yeah, it's yeah really interesting to see this kind of bigger villain take place here.
Yeah, I think this is where our knowledge of the serpents begins to take shape a little bit, because as we see back at the Johnson family home, we're in the middle of a conversation between Kelly and Owen. And that's where, you kind of see this coming based off the body language and the demeanor. We see here that, Owen's just on his phone chilling while Kelly's brushing her teeth. And she kind of looks at him suddenly and she's like, "Are you happy?" And he jokes, like, "Whoa, okay, putting my phone away now." But that's why she seriously brings it up, and I'm glad she did, because we've talked about this before. But she's basically like, "Look, man, you're basically like, you know, a, martial arts superhero at one point in your life, where you had this exciting life and you met, beautiful women and mountains, and you were doing all this cool shit like channeling fire out of your hands. But now you have a family, boring suburban family life, all that stuff. Like, um, like, are you happy? And he's just like, oh, I'm happy. And he recalls like a family vacation where there was a misery to it, but he was happy. But yeah, he's happy. He likes to be living in a quiet life, and that's where Kelly's like, good answer. Now let's see if I can make you even happier. And they get the action going in bed, but there's someone watching, which I thought was really creepy. Like, and what is it with like windows in this series? Like, we've talked about it before, but the biggest villain of the series seems to be windows and open curtains. So close the curtains, guys. But I get it. I mean, you think you're in the comfort of your home and all that, but yeah, someone's watching the Johnson family, and that seems to be a recurring theme throughout this series.
Yeah, the window always got to look out for those. And yeah, this is just super creepy for sure. Just very concerning. And yeah, as we see who it is later, it's makes it even creepier in a way, for sure. So yeah, this is definitely a weird sequence. But also, real quick, I wanted to point out I just love how they had the game Sorry in here. One of my all-time personal favorites. I actually played it like a couple weekends ago with my sister for the first time, literally in like over 10 years. But yeah, it's a frustrating game for sure if the dice isn't bouncing your way. So yeah, that's a great game.
Good catch, good catch. One thing I really love between this page and the next is the transition that really highlights Matt Wilson's colors. I mean, this is why he's an incredible colorist and Eisner Award winning colorist. Like, look at the colors on this page. Immediately, we've contrasted between, the dark, more serious, tense moments to a lighthearted and, fun, relaxing moment. Owen back to being Owen, and he's talking to his father. They're in the middle of a golfing session. I love the pink shirt he's wearing. I love, just the colors overall, really vibrant on this page. And his dad's asking him why he's taking so long at this particular hole because they're golfing. And, golfing is very difficult, of course. But, he makes a joke saying, just interesting, just get it in the hole for once. And that's where Owen just pulls off this insane elaborate golf swing where he just manages to swing the ball into a bunch of trees where it constantly bounces between some tree trunks and then lands in the middle of a tree, like the hole in a tree. And I'm just like, first of all, that panel placement is incredible. Like, just the entire sequence. I love that panel placement. And I honestly, this is such an underrated page. This is the kind of page where you think where the craft is on full display. It's incredible, but a lot of people would overlook it because it's not like a full on action page, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just yeah, the transition of colors again are yeah, incredible. And just seeing him here like right after I saw this shot, I was like Buddy's probably got a lot more talents to put to use. Like imagine, like he could go on the PGA Tour right now and start making money, and opposed to doing his tables there. But I guess that would probably not be so great for keeping off the radar. But yeah, he's definitely showing off the golf skills here. It really reminded me of that. Reminded me of the one episode of Daredevil actually, where like Matt, like they don't know he's Daredevil yet, but he does the pool shot. Like they think he's fucking up, and then he just comes in and fucking does exactly this. So yeah, that's kind of a cool comparison there, and yeah, just a one of the most fun pages for sure.
Yep. And the next page, we see something that's really encouraging and really cool. We see Doug practicing even in the evening slash nighttime outside on his own, and he's also trying to channel the firepower. It seems he's somewhat envious of his older sister, which I completely understand. I mean, we're talking superpowers right here in one way or another, or in some senses. But when we see Kelly on the couch with, of course, the beautiful passed out peanut butter, look at that. She's taking some sips from her coffee, and she realizes someone's yelling from upstairs. Her parental instinct kicks in, and she runs upstairs to check on her kid, and that's where I realized that it's not actually a nightmare. because Haley realizes, "Out, can you see them? Are they real?" And that's where Kelly grabs one of the snakes by the throat, and then tosses it aside, grabs Haley, and jumps through the window. Some insane, really an incredible action sequence, and that's where Doug notices. I just want to say this was like I love this so much that I felt like I had to mention it during the episode, which is Doug just like instinctively turning around to notice and assess the situation, and then stomping out every single snake and just yelling snake stop, snake stop, snake stop while he just
Yeah.
steps on all these snakes. I love that, but he just gets like bitch slapped by the snake because this is really cool. This is where we see some more supernatural aspects of the Firepower series, alongside like the whole, or mystical, you could say, or just like just superpower. Where you see like this person could throw fires out of their hands. Well, here the serpents are all coming together to create like some sort of one being. So like the issues before where they were fighting on the airplane. So I thought that was really cool and a nice throwback. What did you think of this?
Yeah, yeah, super cool reveal, and yeah, just looked really awesome. Like even when they're kind of just in a huge pile, they're still able to. All the snakes are still kind of able to work together in unison to kind of slap Doug out of the way. But it was, yeah, definitely a cool reveal for sure, and it really made me think. I think it was last issue she was having the nightmare, I believe, right? I don't know if you remember, but yeah, she was having a nightmare before, and
Yep.
yeah, obviously Owen went to go in, and the snakes weren't there. Do you think the snakes? Because I remember asking at the time, like, do you think the snakes were there and they just like, but like, I don't know how they could have disappeared so quickly. Like, or was that in her head? What do you think about that?
Honestly, I have no idea, but that's actually a really good question. And looking back, I think there has to be something to it, considering this time they're actually there, right? So maybe we could say that even if they weren't there, maybe they were trying to make their way to her. Maybe that's why it felt so real to
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point here. And yeah, just an awesome fight sequence again. We get Kelly here because yeah, Owen's not here to defend them right now. So yeah, and Kelly's just going to town and yeah, showing how much of a badass she is. But yeah, this snake ninja is definitely not taking it too lightly.
No, yeah, like Kelly or Haley's channeling her inner Terra, and the Invincible Hands. You'll
Yeah,
understand that reference.
yeah,
I love this next page. Like, I love how gorgeous Ling Zan looks, but I also love the overall design with her flowing hair, almost like Electra. Like
yes, yeah,
she just like she flies out of the shadows with a graceful kick, saving the Johnson family. And this is a really cool moment because, well, now we found out that the person who was, peeking in on their sex time was probably Ling Zan, which is really really creepy when you think about it. Like
like what's her goal? I'm just like I'm curious. Really, what's her goal here? Like
threesome.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's her real goals for sure.
That's
But
her real goal. The kids
yeah,
were the real obstacle. That's it. And not. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. My thoughts, honestly, like if I were trying to rationalize them myself, maybe I'm projecting. I don't know, but maybe she's going to see like if he's actually happy because at that
yeah,
moment within
yeah,
the issue, they're asking if they're. She's like Kelly asks Owen if he's happy, right? And that's where he replies yes, and that's where she's watching. So maybe that's like her confirming, like should I interfere in this man's life? What if he's unhappy? Maybe she's trying to look for like a justification, a reason to tell him to go talk to him or something. Um, so that's my take on it. But I do really like that like Haley's almost impressed by like the this ninja that just jumped out of the tree to save them. Ling Zan does do some really impressive stuff. Manages to pull out some kick-ass moves, save the day. That's immediately when Owen just shows up with a with a bag, and he's like Ling Zan, and that's where Kelly's like Ling Zan. When were you gonna tell me your ex girlfriend was actually alive? I love that like cliffhanger of an ending for that part of the issue, which is basically you could say the end of the issue because this last few pages are an epilogue because we're back at the island. We're back at Chenzul's island where we see one of the soldiers running to Chenzul to let him know that Ling Zan's missing. But upon reaching Master Zul at his quarters, they notice that a serpent's bitten his neck and mind controlled him. And that's how the issue ends with the green glowing eyes. So serpents are making moves. I love this epilogue ending because I think one thing Firepower does really well is whenever it ends on a cliffhanger, it always gets you excited for the next issue or has a really good setup for the next issue, which I thought this issue was no exception. What do you think?
Yeah, no, this is big in a way also because like it shows the serpents are almost on a side of their own, right? Because they were able to go and infiltrate the Temple of the Flaming Fist, and now they're here attacking the Scorched Earth clan. So yeah, they're kind of it kind of puts into question, yeah, kind of what's going on there. But yeah, I found it interesting that yeah, now it's infiltrated both groups. So yeah, who knows what's next?
A lot of times when I'm reading this series and this kind of stuff happens with the serpents, I'm always thinking back to that Indie Jones meme where it's like snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's just like. But no, I do like. Yeah, this is a big moment for sure. I'm really excited for the next issue as well because we've got more revelations in the next one.
yeah, for sure.
Oh no, yeah. One of the things I love about the next issue is it also has like Chris Samnee is, of course. We say this in every single episode. He's an incredible artist, one of the best, one of my personal favorite. We could rave about his talents, for hours. But the issues have extremely consistent covers with beautiful color palettes, like very unique color palettes. And the next issue, the cover for the next issue, Firepower number 15, almost like he's doing like a Kamehameha or like a Hadouken, like a mid Hadouken, like he's channeling the fireball big time with all the zombies, all the mind controlled warriors around him. I just love that cover. I also love the purple color palette overall. Really, really incredible stuff. Matt Wilson kills the like colors on this series and the covers as well. Obviously, the cover for 14 being no exception. Like, look at those colors as well. So you really see a lot of contrast between every issue, and I think that makes the cover stand out. I like the title play as well. Radiant Black does something similar. Another awesome Image Comics superhero title you should be reading. But yeah, I think that's where we'll end it for this episode in terms of reviewing the issue. What do you think of this week's RC Coda?
It was interesting for sure. I think I don't want to be a bummer, but I want Jason Mantzoukas back on one of these. But yeah, no, like it's just so fun to see them always talk, just about their process, and just their like little arguments that really have nothing to do with the book, but do. I loved their argument on if you wear gloves when you wash dishes. So yeah, that I guess because they put it in the issue, and then Robert's like, who does that? So yeah, that was just kind of funny. Yeah, I personally I've never done dishes with gloves on, but yeah, no, it's I get the sentiment for sure. But yeah, what do you think?
One thing I really liked was I liked how Chris Samnee was so excited, like when he read the script, that he wanted to draw the last page first, just because like he
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. I thought that was really cool. So, um, I thought that was something that I personally liked. I like that they mentioned Charlie Adlard again. He
yeah.
seems to be a familiar name in this space, so that's really cool. But yeah, like it was also like one of the longer RC codas for the fans, which I always appreciate. They don't really always have to do this, but the fact that they do it and the book still costs the same amount is something I always appreciate. Um,
Thought
yeah,
it was I did think it was super interesting. Saw me talking about like as he's drawing these facial expressions, like he's actually doing them himself. Like he might not take reference pictures of like his face and then draw it, but like he'll actually be doing it himself,
it's
just kind of
awesome.
his own
I could
way. So yeah,
imagine
that's
him
kind of
drawing the
cool.
Joker and just doing the Joker, just like having all his face.
I love it. It's hilarious.
But yeah, no, or like the Venom, for example.
Oh
Could you
god.
imagine that? Like with the tongue out and everything. But yeah, no, I truly like. One thing I hope other series kind of do is something like RC Coda. I really miss like I'm the kind of guy who loves letter sections. Like I love letter sections or all kinds of shit like that they do at the back of comics, comic book back matter. But I especially love where you get some sort of involvement with the creative team, whether it's feedback or just like a letter or any sort of thing like this. So my hope is that other series incorporate something like this. And speaking of other Skybound series, before we end this episode, I just wanted to mention that Void Rivals number one, an exciting new comic book series from Skybound and from Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo Di Felici, is on FOC this week. So if you're a fan of Robert Kirkman, for a lot of you guys listening to this podcast and reading this book, you like Robert Kirkman's writing, so you might want to check that out. Might be something you enjoy. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. Anything else you wanted to add for this review before we end it?
No, I don't think so. Like you mentioned, yeah, that cover's super badass for 15. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into that one. And yeah, hopefully we got Mr. Ali back with us, talking some radiant, some firepower 15. So yeah, it's
Oh, that
just
was a
can't wait.
Freudian slip. You almost said the Radiant Black. Man's
Almost,
Ghost got
almost
Radiant
it.
Black on
We got
his
to it.
neck.
We got a lot of shows here. We got a lot, but it's okay. It's okay.
For
We love
sure.
doing it. Love doing it.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time on the Firepower Podcast, everyone, where we talk all snakes all the time. Stay roasty.